Hello. Good evening. Oh, man. What a week, huh? I will tell you guys, it has never been easier for me to focus on preparing for this show. Just so easy to concentrate on the task at hand all week, not get distracted by anything. Let me ask up front, if more crazy news comes out during the show tonight, do you guys want me to tell you, assuming I hear about it, which you probably hear before me, but like, should I tell you, or should this just be like a self-contained bubble of frivolous entertainment? Sound off in the chat if you have an opinion on that. Quiet chat so far tonight, kind of eerie, but that's appropriate. And I will say, I think we persevered through the madness, and we put together a very fun show for you guys tonight, so it's going to be a good time. So let's get into it. Good evening. Welcome to Hoff's Public Domain Horrorfest. I am your host, Hoff Matthews, and this is, of course, a live comedy show and horror movie screening series. We show a horror movie, and we break it up with live comedy host segments, like what's happening right now. We used to do this physically live in Brooklyn, but, of course, we had to stop doing indoor screenings due to COVID-19, and I actually left New York City and came here to my ancestral estate of Hoff Manor to ride out the pandemic here in my haunted mansion. And we're doing the show again. There the chat goes. Now it's happening. I just had to ask for it. Thank you, guys. And I'm seeing bubble. Okay, good good to know. We're doing the show again. We're doing it online. And because we're online, we are showing exclusively older classic horror movies which have fallen into the public domain. Including tonight's film, The Bat, from 1959. This is sort of a eerie kind of proto-slasher starring Vincent Price, who we love, and I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with it. We also have live guests on the show this month. It was something we didn't have on the show before, now we've got it, and tonight I'm going to be speaking with the comedian Brett Davis. So, very excited to talk with him later on in the show. But I'm going to start things off tonight by talking about the backstory behind tonight's film, The Bat, because it's a very interesting movie. I didn't really know anything about it going in. Maybe you guys are experts. I don't know. Maybe you also don't know much about it. But this is actually the fourth film version of this particular story. Back in the late 2010s, we were all, of course, starting to be like, oh my god, there's so many Marvel movies, right? But earlier in the 20th century, people were saying, Jesus, how many movies of The Bat can they make? Because, you see, The Bat was originally based on a novel called The Circular Staircase by Mary Roberts Reinhardt. This was about a woman who solves mysterious crimes while staying in a rented vacation home. And the novel was actually adapted into its own silent film called The Circular Staircase in 1915. The novel was from 1907. And it was also adapted into a TV special and a play called The Bat. This play was incredibly popular, sort of, the Hamilton of its time, if it were about a bat instead of Alexander Hamilton. And, in fact, we have newsreel footage of fans of the play lining up and being interviewed while they wait to purchase the print version of the play. Might remind you of the fans of a certain modern literary franchise. I'm going to play that for you right now.
What are you all lining up for, then? Oi, we're here for the new Bat, the Bat play. I sold me sister for the nickel it's gonna cost me, and I'm excited as all hell to stage it in me house. Just gotta find someone to play the girl roles now, innit? Chicago Newsreels, signing off. This was in Chicago.
There you go. And because it was so popular, the play was, of course, adapted into several films itself, starting with The Bat, the silent movie from 1926, which, by the way, I did sort of stumble on some clips from this movie while I was putting this show together. I haven't had the chance to watch the full thing, but it looks pretty cool, so maybe check it out. I don't know. We can't show it on this show because it's not in the public domain, but might be worth a look. And then in 1930, there was another movie from the same director as 1926's The Bat Whispers. And then, of course, finally in 1959, there was the movie The Bat, which we are showing tonight. And Mary Roberts Reinhardt actually commissioned a ghost-written novelization of the play based on her original novel. That's how successful this whole enterprise was. And the difference, of course, between the Bat movies and, for example, the Marvel Universe is that these were all like discrete iterations of the same story over and over. Because the franchise, the tentpole franchise, as we know it now, hadn't really been invented yet. That wouldn't happen for several decades until the classic Smokey and the Bandit trilogy came along. But it's still an incredibly impressive accomplishment. The Bat was this huge phenomenon, but it was then dwarfed by these other series of films and cultural endeavors which came later. So it just sort of goes to show sometimes the difference between something that's successful and something that's hugely, incredibly successful is just a matter of adding the word man to the end. So, a little bit of Hollywood history to start you guys out with there. As I said, I'm your host, Hoff Matthews, and we are getting close to being ready to start the movie tonight. I will tell you, as always, me and my co-producers, Andrei Alupului, George Gordon, and Marybess Pritchett, have added a few things here and there to the movie tonight. Not that much. Most of what you see will just be the original The Bat film from 1959. But here and there are some little Easter eggs that we've sprinkled in. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be talking with Brett Davis later on in the show. Stay tuned for him. I will be back on in 15 minutes or so. But I think we are ready now for the first act of The Bat. So please enjoy.
In the country which I rented for the summer. As an author, I write tales of mystery and murder. But the things that happened in this house were far more fantastic than any story I've ever had published. I brought a staff of servants from my city apartment, and my maid Lizzie Allen, who had been with me nearly 20 years. Lizzie?
Yes, Miss Cornelia.
Is the car ready?
It's at the door. Look, Miss Cornelia, them servants you brought from the apartment are talking about walking out on us.
Really?
Well, I know they don't like it here, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, they've been hearing things about the killer that the police call the Bat and the murders that he committed here this past winter. Now people are saying that he's back again.
Well, how can they be sure of that? Has he committed another crime?
No, not yet, but that ain't saying that he won't. Here's something else. You've heard about the bats they have here. Animal bats, the kind that fly.
Yes, yes.
Look what it says in this magazine. This is a report from the State Health Department, and it says some of them bats is rabid.
Well.
And that ain't all. Now there's a rumor going around that it was the Bat himself, the killer, I mean, that released the rabid bats in this neighborhood.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Well, the housekeeper, the cook, the butler, and the upstairs maid don't think so.
Well, I can't help what they think. If hysterical nonsense like that can scare them out of their good jobs, it's their loss, not mine. Come on, Lizzie, I've got to get to the bank. drive directly to Zenith Bank, Warner. I'm afraid we'll have to hurry. It's near closing time.
I'll get you there, Miss Van Gorder.
Thanks again.
Miss Van Gorder.
How do you do, Mr. Berry?
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You remember Lizzie Allen?
Of course. Hello, Miss
How
Allen.
do you do?
So you're spending the summer with us again?
Yes. I've leased the Oaks, the home of your bank president, John Fleming.
I heard you had. I was surprised.
Why? Is there something the matter with it?
No. I was surprised because Mr. Fleming said he would never rent it.
Oh? Well, I rented it from his nephew, Mark Fleming, who has the real estate office here. He said his uncle would be gone the entire summer.
That's right. Mr. Fleming's in the North Woods now with his physician, Dr. Wells. Oh, pardon me. Dale, I want you to meet my wife. We were married at Christmas time.
That must have been nice.
Believe me, it was. Oh, here she is.
Oh, dear.
My
How
wife,
do you
Miss
do?
Van Gorder, Miss Allen.
How do you do, Mrs.
How do you do? Cornelia Van Gorder.
Yes.
Oh, well, I've read every murder mystery you've ever written. I just adored that weird one, The Private Morgue of Dr. X, even though it gave me the shivers.
Only the shivers? Scared hell out of me.
Oh.
Well, I really mean that Miss Corney killed them off in that one.
When you refer to my books, please don't call me Miss Corney.
Pardon me, Mr. Bailey. Mr. Hines is here to see you.
Oh, yes. Excuse me, please. Don't be strangers now.
No,
I
we
should
won't.
say not.
Oh, so you're a bride.
Well, not quite.
Not since Christmas.
You know, I'm sure I've seen you.
Well, I used to be my husband's secretary here in the bank.
Of course I remember.
May I welcome our most distinguished visitor back to Zenith?
Oh, that's very charming, but,
Lieutenant Anderson.
Lieutenant Anderson, of course. Chief of Detectives of the Zenith Police Department. This is Miss Allen.
Miss Allen.
How do you do?
Lieutenant Anderson is one of our favorite citizens. He's on the bank's board of directors.
Not bad for a policeman.
You must have made a good thing of it.
Well, I saved my money, if that's what you mean.
It's near closing time, and I've got some business in the safe deposit vault. Please come and see me, Mrs. Bailey.
Oh, I'd love to.
And you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Nice to meet you. My, what a charming woman. She moved into the Oaks just the other day.
That house is a proper setting for a writer of mysteries.
Oh, it certainly is. Vic, what's the matter?
Come in here, both of you. Andy, we're in trouble. Wendell Hines came in to pick up $350,000 worth of bonds that we were holding as collateral for a loan. They were kept in our special vault. Mr. Fleming and I are the only officers of the bank who have access to that vault.
So?
The Hines bonds are gone. That's not all. Other negotiable securities are missing. From what I can gather, short of a careful check, the bank has been looted of over $1 million worth of securities.
You'll have to notify Fleming.
I wish I could talk to him. Unfortunately, he and Dr. Wells are deep in the woods. They can't be reached by phone.
What is it?
I thought I heard someone on the path coming from the lake. Had an idea it might be that guide of ours.
Oh, Sam won't show up until morning. It's a 20-mile canoe trip from here to civilization.
5 will get you 10. Sam has a message for me.
I thought you told him at the bank not to bother you.
I did, but they'll bother me. Doctor,
Yes, John.
what would you do for $500,000?
Anything short of murder.
Why not murder?
Too messy.
Too great a risk?
For $500,000? Yes.
I pinched $1 million from the bank. Well, I'm not kidding. I embezzled it.
Not that I think you wouldn't do it if you thought you could get away with it.
I got away with it. I'm not talking about currency. I took negotiable securities that could be converted into cash. I have the cash in 10s, 20s, and 100s.
Well, I'm your doctor, not your lawyer. Why tell me this?
You'll find out why.
Who's going to take the blame for the robbery?
Bailey, the cashier. They'll never suspect me.
I like Bailey.
Well, so do I. I love the guy. I gave him his first chance.
He has a lovely little wife.
Charming girl. Was the best man.
Where's the $1 million?
In my family's tomb in Zenith. In the crypt with my father's casket.
I don't buy that, John.
No?
No. You forget that I had you in charge when you were a very sick man. When you raved in delirium. And I heard you talk about a hidden room. Now, where else could you put a hidden room except in that mansion you built? That white elephant you call the Oaks.
Look, everyone knows I have a bad heart. Now, who would doubt it if you wired the bank directors that my heart had failed? That I had fallen from a great height here in the woods, and that I was badly smashed up. You could ship the body back for burial and instruct them not to open the casket due to the condition of its contents.
Well, you realize, of course, that we'd have to have a body to put in that casket, which means that we'd have to deal with an undertaker at this end.
Of course.
Well, where do we get a body?
Couldn't we provide one of our own? How about Sam?
Sam, our guide?
Sam weighs about as much as I do. He's practically a hermit. He wouldn't be missed for a long time.
The local undertaker would know him.
Not if we made him look as if he'd been in a serious accident.
But if Bailey's going to take the blame, why'd he have to do this?
A jury might acquit him. In that case, I'd be a logical suspect. I could disappear, of course, but it's safer if they think I'm dead.
What if I don't go for this deal?
In that case, it would be too bad.
You mean you'd kill me?
What else could I do? Now that I've told you about the $1 million, I'd say you were shot in a hunting accident. Now, look, Doctor, if you can find another body instead of Sam's, it's all right with me. There's $500,000 in it for you.
I'll do my best.
I smell smoke.
So do I. What's that noise?
Look, Doctor, the woods are on fire. It's coming this way. We've got to get out of here. Out the back way.
We will. As soon as I provide that body we were talking about.
Yes, Miss Cornelia. There's a storm coming up, and it's gonna be a snorter. The wind nearly blew the door off its hinges.
Well, that noise blew my game higher than a kite. I think I've lost some of the cars.
Oh, I'll get them for you.
Oh, I see you found the paper.
Drat that paper boy. Scooting by on his bicycle, just chucked it into a clump of bushes and let it go at that. For land's sake, Mr. Vic Bailey's been arrested.
Oh?
I think.
Victor Bailey, vice president and cashier of the Zenith Bank, was arraigned before United States Commissioner Alvin Fielding, charged with the embezzlement of over $1 million. I can't believe Vic Bailey had anything to do with that robbery. Oh, well, I see our landlord is home again.
Landlord?
Mr. Fleming. Dr. Malcolm Wells is back in town with the body of John Fleming, president of the Zenith Bank, who was killed in a forest fire. Mr. Fleming will be laid to rest in his family's tomb on Friday.
And I hope he stays there.
Well, why shouldn't he?
Well, this is his house. And ever since he died, some funny things have happened here.
For instance?
The housekeeper, the cook, and the butler said that they heard strange noises at night. And the upstairs maid swore that she met a man without a face coming up the back stairs.
Oh, so that's why they quit and left me to run this place without a staff.
They didn't tell you, Miss Corney, but the truth is they was scared to stay.
But you're still here, Lizzie. Haven't you seen anything?
No. No, and even if I had, I ain't afraid of ghosts. They're afraid of me. Honest, Miss Corney, a spiritualist told me once that ghosts was allergic to me. But this Bat feller they keep talking about in the paper, I guess he'd be different.
No, I don't think you would have the same effect on him.
Oh, dear. What are they trying to do? Drive people away from this part of the country?
Why, what does it say about the Bat?
His specialty seems to be killing women. My goodness, 2 of them in one night. All his victims died the same way, like their throats had been ripped open with steel claws.
That's a charming little caper. I'll have to try it sometime.
In a book. That ain't nothing, just something bumping against the house. That's just the wind banging a door. Pay no attention to it. Listen to this. One of his victims, who lived for a moment after she was found, described the Bat as a man without a face. Honest, Miss Corney, I think that woman must have been exaggerating. That's just that heavy tapestry at the top of the stairs.
I know. I've heard it before on a windy night. That sounds as if there was someone on the stairs. I know there isn't. At least there shouldn't be.
There ain't. Them's just the noises you hear in any old house on a windy night. It says here that the Bat never leaves no fingerprints.
That's understandable. Having no face, he probably has no fingers either. Lizzie! And that, I suppose, is the cat dropping its dentures.
No, I don't think so. But I think it's something should be looked into. Now, who chucked him down here?
The wind, I hope. There must be a window open up there. No, Lizzie. Let him lay. Let him sleep it off. I hope the power lines don't go down, put the lights out. Now, we'll check the windows in the living room and draw the curtains, and then we'll go to bed.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I know you guys are all wondering if the Bat is creeping around the Oaks here, but we did want to take a moment to focus on Cornelia and Lizzie, because they obviously have this very endearing relationship, right? And in their honor, HorrorFest tonight is celebrating platonic long-term same-sex roommate pride. That is, of course, the official flag of the PLT-SSR community there, the shades of gray indicating the many layers of nuance that are part of a close long-term bond. And this long-term same-sex roommate lifestyle, it's of course been around forever. For example, England's King James I famously was such close friends with the courtier George Villiers that they actually had a secret passageway connecting their bedchambers, which is a wacky sitcom friend arrangement if I've ever heard one, right? You can just imagine George Villiers bursting in from the secret passageway like Kramer, and the audience going crazy for the king's good friend. But even though this is a totally natural way for people to relate to each other, it has unfortunately been stigmatized throughout history in many societies, especially in sort of repressed puritanical societies like the United States. For example, Scott Thorson on the right there, the live-in chauffeur of the 50s entertainer Liberace on the left, was actually so ashamed of their unconventional platonic cohabitation that he claimed and claims to this day that they were both gay, which is just so sad to see someone who, is denying who they really are like that. But fortunately, throughout the 20th and 21st century, pop culture has actually done a lot to destigmatize this way of life and sort of demystify it for a lot of people. The Bat is part of that, but of course there are many more prominent instances, such as Felix and Oscar of The Odd Couple, Bert and Ernie, Batman and Robin, of course. I mean, the list goes on. I don't have time to go through all of these examples one by one, but the fact remains that now PLT SSR couples are an accepted part of mainstream society, and that's a really great thing, and it's really impressive to see a movie from the 50s like The Bat that had the bravery to show a long-term same-sex roommate relationship without any romantic or sexual elements whatsoever. So, just wanted to note that, and let's see some more of the film. I'll be back in 15 minutes with Brett Davis.
I won't be a minute. Gordy! Oh! What's that? Oh, when I went to get the paper, I turned the latch off. I forgot to turn it on again. He's out there. He was coming in. He might have got you.
Oh, but he didn't, and he's still out there, thanks to you. Now, you hurry now, and we'll call the police.
No, I won't leave you, Miss Coney.
Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am, I'm okay.
Okay.
Operator?
Give me the police department, please.
Zenith Police Department.
This is Cornelia Van Gorder. I'm living at the Oaks.
We know about that, Miss Van Gorder.
Just a moment ago, a man tried to force his way into this house.
You're not alone there, are you? What about your servants?
Well, I have none except my chauffeur, and he's away. He won't be back until the morning. Now, there's only 2 of us here tonight, and we're going to lock ourselves in my room. Now, if any of your men see anything, will you have them call me?
I'll send officers over there right away.
Oh, thank you very much. Come on, Lizzie. We're going to sleep in my room. Well, nothing can get at us in this room now, I think. This door seems good and solid.
Like the door to a tomb.
I think that couch will be comfortable. There's some extra bedding, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
Closet. Let's see now. Huh? No bolt. Well, that's not so good. Oh, what's that for? That, my good woman, is a booby trap. If anybody tries to open this transom, this will be knocked off, and we'll hear it fall.
I forgot my night things, my robe, my gown, and my slippers. I'll go get them now.
Now, wait a minute, Lizzie. I'll go with you.
Now, don't you bother, Miss Cornelia. My room's just down the hall.
Lizzie, I told you to wait.
It's all right. I'll only be a second. Get in here. Get in here.
Yes?
Miss Van Gorder?
Yes?
Zenith Police Department. There's a police car just outside your house, and the officers in it have reported that there's no sign of a prowler anywhere on the grounds.
Well, the man's inside now. He's in the hall, just outside my bedroom. Have your men break through the kitchen door and search this place from top to bottom.
Okay, Miss Van Gorder. Sit tight.
I will. I have a gun, and I know how to use it. Relax, Lizzie. The police did a good job. They couldn't find anybody in here.
But we both saw him, Miss Cornelia.
All right, so he got away. But there are men on guard outside, so just try and get some rest. There's nothing can get at us here. You've had a nightmare.
Maybe I did. But there was a bat in it, and it bit me. What? And it flew in that closet.
Oh, good gracious, Lizzie, you're right. Oh. Operator, will you get me Dr. Malcolm Wells' office, please? No, I don't know his number, and I have no phone book up here, but this is an emergency. Will you connect me with his office, please?
Oh, dear, I'm going to get the rabies.
Hello?
Hello? Dr. Wells' office?
This is a call service. Dr. Wells is out at the moment, but if you'll give me your name and number, I'll try to locate him.
Well, this is Miss Van Gorder of the Oaks. My maid has just been bitten by a bat that may be rabid, and she must have treatment as soon as possible. And I was told that Dr. Wells was the nearest physician.
I'll try to find him for you, and if I can't, I'll send you another doctor.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Oh, he's out on a case.
Oh.
Oh, I hope it's not a delivery. A baby, I mean, they can be terribly complicated.
It never bothered me none.
Oh, Lizzie, you never had a baby.
Of course I didn't. That's why they never bothered me.
Oh, does it hurt, huh?
A little.
Dr. Wells? Are you there, Dr. Wells? Are you there, Dr. Wells? This is the operator. Your call service is on the wire. It's an emergency.
This is Dr. Wells.
This is your call service, Doctor.
Oh, hello. I was just doing an experiment. I left the receiver off.
That's what I thought, but I kept trying. Miss Van Gorder at the Oaks called and said that her maid had been bitten by a bat, and she's afraid it might be rabid.
What? Oh, all right. Tell her I'll be right over there.
Who's there?
Dr. Wells.
Come in.
Good evening.
Oh, I'm so glad they found you, Doctor.
Well, I reached my office shortly after you called. How is your maid? Is she in any pain?
No, she doesn't seem to be.
Did the bat get away?
No, I believe it's still in my bedroom.
Oh, good. I'll want to examine it. There you go, Miss Allen. Now you feel better?
Doctor, have I got the rabies?
Well, I can tell you better after I've examined the bat's brain under a microscope.
That thing's got a brain?
Oh, you'd be surprised. Where is it?
I think the little darling is in that closet.
Oh. You know, it's a pity you leased this house, Miss Van Gorder.
Why a pity?
Well, my dear lady, I don't want to alarm you, but...
Oh, well, after tonight, nothing can alarm me.
Yes, I understand. It must have been terrifying. So many unexplainable things have happened here. There's something about the place. Your servants must have sensed it when they walked out on you. An apprehension of disaster. Well, let's see. Aha! Yes. There he is. All right, now. Take it easy. Nobody's going to hurt you. Quiet now. Quiet. He looks quite normal. Doesn't seem to be sick at all.
Oh, ain't that nice? I've been worried about him.
Well, you should be. From his appearance, I'd say that he doesn't have any infection. In which case, you've had a narrow escape. Now, you take one of those tablets I left for you, and I'll guarantee you a good night. And I'll drop in on you tomorrow.
Oh, thanks for everything, Doctor.
Now, don't worry, I can find my way out.
Oh, I know you can, but do let me help you.
Oh, don't forget that once I'm gone, you'll have to climb those stairs alone.
Oh, I'm all right. I'm armed now.
Can you, shoot one of those things without shutting your eyes?
Oh, Doctor, there are guns in every book I've ever written. I don't write about things I'm unfamiliar with. Lock the door, Lizzie.
Good night.
Yes, ma'am. Good night, Doctor.
Accident?
No, the wind blew him down.
Oh.
I think.
Oh. Did you know that young Mark Fleming leased you this house without notifying his uncle?
No, I didn't.
Well, it doesn't matter now. John Fleming is dead, and Mark's his heir. But if John were alive, he would warn you to leave here, Miss Van Gorder.
Really?
Yes. It's been a tragic place for anyone who ever lived in it. Well, good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Who's out there?
Nobody you need worry about, Doctor.
Oh, it's Andy.
Oh. That's right. Oh, good evening, Miss Van Gorder.
Good evening, Lieutenant.
Somebody sick here?
My maid was bitten by a bat.
Oh?
A rabid bat?
Well, I'll know for sure when I get to my lab. I caught the bat.
It happened indoors?
In my bedroom.
How'd it get in?
Well, there are many ways a bat could get in a house.
You ought to know. I spotted this hole in the window the minute I got here.
Why?
That's where the two-legged bat got your door open.
Miss Van Gorder told me that she phoned headquarters at Zenith.
Yes, I phoned twice. The second time was after the prowler got in the house.
Weren't headquarters, Andy?
No, but they contacted me.
An officer came and searched the house from top to bottom, but they couldn't find the bat.
You better have this window fixed tomorrow.
Oh, yes, I certainly shall.
Yes, and I'd better be going. I'm due in surgery at 8 o'clock in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
There'll be a man patrolling the grounds all night, Miss Van Gorder.
Oh, thank you.
And nobody inside, Andy?
Why should there be?
Well, how do you know but what the bat is hiding somewhere in the house?
I'm quite sure he isn't in the house, Doctor. Not now. Good night.
Good night.
All right, I hope you guys are enjoying the film so far, but we are going to take a little break so I can speak with tonight's special guest, comedian Brett Davis. You might know him from the podcast for Laundry, the special Without Brett Davis, National Lampoon's Radio Hour. He does a voice on Our Cartoon President, and we're very excited to have him on the show tonight. So I'm going to bring him on, and just bear with me for a moment while I get the Zoom window in here. Second. There we go. Brett, hello. You are live.
Oh, thanks for having me so much. I'm loving the bat.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and joining us tonight.
Yeah. Agnes Moorehead is so great.
Yes.
Loves her guns.
Yeah, I know.
Like provincial Vincent Price, like playing it up a little bit.
I emphasized Vincent Price going in, but Agnes Moorehead is definitely his equal or more here.
Yeah, for sure. His performance reminds me of Kelsey Grammer in any other movie where he's not, or show where he's not playing Frasier.
Wow, now that you say that, yeah.
Adding an apostrophe to instead of enunciating. Not really doing much more than that.
I want to see vampire Kelsey Grammer now, or like Kelsey Grammer fighting spooks and ghouls. I think that would be a good time. Someone needs to make that.
Mean, if this were a different era, he would have been in those Hammer movies. He would have been all over that.
Well, the first thing that I wanted to ask you is, you are known for doing a lot of character work and having all these different personalities. Does it follow from that, and I'm getting the sense that maybe I know the answer to this question, but does it follow from that you are a Halloween guy? Do you get into like the costuming and everything, or would that not be correct to assume?
I think for a while I was a Halloween guy, and then every day kind of became Halloween for me. Mm-hmm. Every week, I did this public access show, and we'd have crazy costumes, and I'd just constantly be going to Halloween Adventure in Union Square to the point where they all knew me there. So yeah, when it comes to Halloween, I don't really do it up too much. Mm-hmm. There was a good string for a few years when, after working in a movie theater when I was in high school, I stole a bunch of the movie posters and I just had them. And every Halloween I would dress up as a movie from 2006, 2007-ish. Like one year I was Failure to Launch, and one year I was Super Babies. So that's the extent of doing it up for Halloween I think I've hit.
Well, that's a good bit. Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. I used to work in a movie theater. Our guest last week, Brett Arnold, talked about that as well. It's something about the type of person who appears on this show and hands out popcorn at multiplex is apparently linked somehow.
The nerd.
Yes, I guess that's really what I'm getting at. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Well, are you a horror movie guy?
I'm not. I've obviously I love certain horror movies. I wouldn't say across the board I'm a horror movie guy. I think I was I'm of the age to have been captured by Freddy Krueger as a young kid. I like following those, 10 sequels and things like that. And this old stuff I love too.
Yeah. Well, Simon, I was going to bring up, you're doing this new project, Wrestling Club, which, can you talk about sort of what that is?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm a nerd. And I had been doing comedy, but COVID rendered comedy irrelevant.
We're keeping it going. We're keeping the flame burning here. This is it. This is the only remaining comedy.
I guess I'm out of retirement. So I've spent my quarantine time focusing on my interests, I guess. And one of them is I started a radio show on WFMU, which is a listener-supported freeform station. And we're spinning it off into a podcast. It's me and my longtime collaborator, Darren Maybe, and we talk about the minutia of wrestling, like kind of the worst stuff and the best stuff, with a lot of comedians and wrestlers and musicians, and we've got some fun guests coming up too.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting to me because I feel like there's aesthetic stuff that's kind of shared by horror movies and wrestling, right? There's sort of like kind of a gothic vibe, these characters like The Undertaker and stuff, and sort of a, I don't know, hard rock sort of edge to it. So what do you think is sort of unique about wrestling that kind of attracts you to it?
I mean, I like that it's a shared reality of characters like The Undertaker, or Papa Shango, who was like a voodoo priest who would make his opponents vomit or cramp up, or, there's Gangrel the vampire. Just, you could go down a long list of spooky wrestlers. The Boogeyman.
I didn't know there was a Boogeyman wrestler.
Oh, you gotta check out the Boogeyman. He ate live worms, which I think is why they liked him.
He was like live worms?
Yeah, he was an older guy, and he auditioned to be on one of their like reality shows. And they were like, "How old are you?" And he's like, "I'm 30." They're like, "How old are you?" And he's like, "I'm 30." And then they're like, "How old are you?" And he's like, "I'm 42 years old." But he ate worms, and he painted his face, and he danced weird, and he would take an alarm clock and bash it over his head, and he was the Boogeyman. And I love that can exist with a guy that's pretty much just being himself as an athlete, or somebody that is, this preening prima donna, or I just love this cycle of characters, and everybody has different styles and different performance quirks. It's just endlessly fascinating. And if you go behind the scenes, which we do a lot, it's endlessly more fascinating. It's like behind the scenes of the world's worst circus.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting you put it like that. I mean, I was going to say you've worked in a lot of different media, and like television and podcasting and live performance, and I feel like you're someone who always sort of tries to put a tweak on the format that they're working in. So how has it been for you dealing with like the limitations of lockdown and quarantine, and sort of trying to still do work in that context?
Well, I just haven't. Mm-hmm. This was I'm getting back into it, I guess, but I think it was a nice break from everything for a little while. It kind of reset my brain. I wound up moving across the country, and yeah, so it's been an adjustment for sure, and I'm definitely missing the stage and shows and everything that everybody else misses, but yeah, I've slowed down. I've entered an early retirement, feels like.
An early temporary retirement, hopefully.
Sure. Well, we'll see.
Yes, I think not knock on wood, yeah. Well, I mean, as I said, you are known for like doing all these different characters. I mean, the special Without Brett Davis was sort of famous for you never appeared as yourself. You're always on as somebody else. So what is it like for you to do an appearance like this, where you are just appearing as yourself and being authentic, I hope, rather than sort of acting out some kind of wacky premise?
Yeah, I mean, I've always said I'm like a little more comfortable on stage. Sorry, Having a little technical.
Oh, Brett, are you still there?
Hey, sorry, low. Sorry, my lights are slowly going out.
Oh, sorry to
I guess
hear that.
It's a brownout. I think that's what they call it.
It's a California thing, right?
It must. Yeah, I mean, I had my first earthquake, and that scared the bejesus.
Brett? Sorry about this, folks. Bear with us here. Brett, you still there? Oh my God. Wow, if I understand what I'm looking at, guys, I think our guest, Brett Davis, has been murdered live on the show. I'm going to turn this off so you don't have to keep looking at that horrible sight. I'm sorry about that. Jesus, I don't know how to process what just happened. Brett Davis murdered live on HORRORFEST, and judging from that sign, whoever did it was trying to send a message to me. Who would do something like that? What could that possibly mean? I'm going to have to try to get to the bottom of this, but I guess while I do that, you guys just watch some more of the movie for now. Okay.
Hi, Andy.
Hello, Mark. Well, congratulations. Real estate business must be picking up. New office, new furniture.
New deal. How do you like it?
It looks expensive. Are you squandering your inheritance?
Oh, I haven't got it yet.
Well, the paper says John Fleming left his entire fortune to you.
Funny thing about that entire fortune is that we can't find it.
No kidding.
Oh, all Uncle John had in his bank account was a couple of $100. And his safe deposit box was empty.
If we don't find that missing million, mine will be empty, too.
How come?
Well, all my savings were invested in Zenith Bank stock. The examiners won't certify the bank as solvent until those stolen securities are found. So the stockholders have voted an assessment that will wipe some of us out. It's a since those securities have been converted into cash. And if I can't find that cash, I'm sunk.
Well, where are you going to look for it, Andy?
Here in Zenith. Your uncle wouldn't take $1 million on a hunting trip, would he?
You suspect Uncle John? Why, Andy, he founded the Zenith Bank. That'd be like robbing the family tomb.
You think he wouldn't?
Well, besides, Vic Bailey's fingerprints are all over the vault. Now, they didn't find any of Uncle John's fingerprints.
Because he wiped them off.
Can the defense prove that?
They'll try to. Judy Hollander, Bailey's secretary, is a defense witness. And they believe her testimony will have a powerful effect on the jury.
Oh, well, she has a powerful effect on me. Judy's a doll.
Here's the book you mentioned, Judy.
It's your newest one.
Yes, it's just been published. You can have that copy if you wish.
Oh, it's a first edition and you've signed it.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much.
May I serve tea now, Miss Van Gorder?
Yes, please do, Warner.
Thank you.
Well, I see you've engaged new servants.
Yes, of course.
Well, how did you persuade them to live in this house?
Well, Jane Patterson, my new housekeeper, knows this house better than you do, Doctor.
Oh?
She worked for John Fleming. And Warner was my chauffeur.
Chauffeur turned butler?
It's incredible. He can play any part at a moment's notice. Did you get a plumber, Warner?
No, we can't get a plumber for 3 days, madam.
What about that leaking pipe? The basement will be flooded in 3 days.
The pipe is no longer leaking.
You mean it's dried up of its own accord?
No, not quite. I packed the elbow where the water was coming out.
Packed the elbow? Oh, where did you learn how to do that?
Well, into each life, a little rain must fall, and a careful man learns to keep himself dry. Now, is there anything else that you require, Miss Van Gorder?
No, not at the moment, Warner.
Thank you, madam.
Now, there's a character.
How long did you say that he worked for you as chauffeur?
About 3 months.
Well, I hope he doesn't have a police record. My dear Dale, it may interest you to know that the last night of his life, John Fleming told me that he loved your husband like a son. If Fleming were alive today, he would be fighting to prove Vic's innocence.
Could Mr. Fleming prove his own innocence?
Miss Van Gorder, can there be any doubt about it?
There will be when Miss Hollander testifies at Vic's trial.
Oh? You know something that we haven't heard yet, Judy?
Something I saw with my own eyes. She's not permitted to say what it was.
My dear girl, I wouldn't think of asking her. But let's assume for a moment that Fleming did steal the $1 million. Now, what would he do about it? Where is it?
Hidden someplace where he could lay his hands on it without getting caught in the act. Now, if I was writing this, instead of living in the middle of it, I'd hide it right here in this spooky old house.
Under a loose floorboard or up a chimney?
If Mr. Fleming had the nerve to steal $1 million, he'd make his plans well in advance. I'd say he'd prepare a place to hide it. Possibly when this house was being built. Now, I rented this place for Mark Fleming, his nephew. I wonder if he'd have the floor plans.
I'll ask him.
Yes. Lizzie, will you bring Mrs. Bailey the phone? Oh, you ask him now. Okay. His number is Summit 7537.
Oh, thank you, Lizzie. Summit
7537.
Not bad, eh, Andy? That means new business. Now, you see, somebody wants to buy a house. Mark Fleming speaking.
Oh, hello, Dale.
Well, hang on a minute, honey, while I see if I have him. It's Dale Bailey, all excited. Miss Van Gorder wants to know if I have the floor plans of the Oaks. Now, what would she want with the floor plans?
Well, she suggested to me that your uncle might have hidden the bank loot there. Are the plans here?
They're somewhere in the house itself. Wait a minute, there is a place where Uncle Johnny might have kept those blueprints.
What place?
Well, I heard him talk about it a good many years ago. I can't be sure of the exact location. Anyway, I don't think the old boy had the guts to steal $1 million. But if I find those plans, I'll let you know, Andy. Hello, Dale. Look, honey, I haven't seen those plans since I was a kid, but I'll come over tonight and maybe we can find them.
Thank you, Mark. We'll expect you. He seems to think they're here in the house somewhere. He's coming over tonight.
Well, that's good. Dale and Judy are my house guests for the weekend. Would you like to have dinner with us tonight?
Oh, no, thank you. I couldn't. I still have a few calls to make. You know, if Judy's testimony is going to clear Vic Bailey and implicate John Fleming, others may get the idea that there's buried treasure in this house. Don't even mention your testimony until you're actually on the stand.
Oh, I won't.
That's a smart girl, Judy, and a very lovely girl. Well, good afternoon, ladies.
Goodbye,
Doctor.
Dr. Will.
Come on, girls, let's go. I should be putting them down on paper. Weren't you your husband's secretary, Dale?
Yes, I was.
Do you take shorthand? Well, my dear, if you'd like to have your mind occupied, I want you to work with me while I write the story of this fantastic criminal, the Bat.
wonderful dinner.
Thank you.
It's really nice.
A good dinner, Lizzie. As usual.
Wonderful. Oh, what a lovely piece of silver. It's an original, isn't it?
Yes, they still use them in England for buffet breakfasts. Some hot water in the bottom. Should keep us hot, your sausages and your scrambled eggs. Interesting. It's very useful. Really nice. That clock hasn't struck the hour in the last 10 years, if I'm to believe what Mark Fleming told me.
Why is it angled away from the wall like that?
I don't know. Somebody must have moved it. Lizzie, very likely when she was dusting.
Wait a minute. Did you know there's a door in this paneling?
No, I didn't.
Oh, my gracious, so there is.
Maybe it opens to a secret passage.
Well, certainly to a secret something. Who knows, girls? We'll be about to stumble on that missing million. Oh, this is... Oh. There's a panel. There must be some gimmick to it. There always is. Yes, it moves. It moves. It moves. Oh.
Calling car 11. Calling car 11. Proceed to the Oaks in Zenith Township immediately. A homicide has been reported.
Okay. Proceeding to the Oaks. Notify the county coroner, Dr. Wells. Tell him to come to the Oaks at once.
Horrible.
As if his throat had been torn by some creature with fangs or claws.
That's his sign. We found it on the others he killed. I'd hoped those reports that he was up to his old tricks again were pure imagination, but apparently they're based on fact. He's come back. Back to the scene of his kills. Yes, that's who I mean. That's who did this. The Bat. Who found Mark?
We all did. And his Dale and Judy and I. Lizzie was in the dining room. This is my new housekeeper, Jane Patterson. You know, she worked for John Fleming.
I know her. Where were you, Mrs. Patterson?
In the kitchen, cleaning up. I cooked the dinner tonight.
Did you know that the secret closet was here?
No. It was behind the grandfather's clock.
Well, it was I who found it, really. Noticed the clock had been moved and the door wasn't quite closed.
I'll get it.
Who is it? Mark Fleming.
As coroner, you saw the same wounds on the others. How long's he been dead?
Oh, I'd say about a half an hour. Do you believe it was the Bat?
That's the Bat's trademark.
Perhaps he's still in the house.
That's possible.
Why should he be?
Because he's looking for something, and like you, he believes it's here. And he's a persistent killer. I would advise you to get out of this house as quickly as possible, notwithstanding our expert police protection. Have you called the morgue?
They're on their way here.
Oh, good. I want to examine the body before they get here. May we take it into another room?
Yes, to the sunroom in the back.
Thank you. Give me a hand.
Excuse me. Oh, Warner, where have you been?
Well, madam, it was... Has it been an accident?
There's been a murder. Mark Fleming, the young man from whom I leased this place, was killed here tonight.
They know who did it?
Well, they believe it was the Bat.
I'm sorry I had to use the front door, Miss Van Gorder, but I forgot my keys, and when I rang the bell at the kitchen door, there was no response.
Oh, this is Warner, Lieutenant. He's my butler. He was my chauffeur.
Why'd you promote him?
Well, it's very difficult to find a butler. They don't like service in the country.
Have you been a butler before?
I've served in many capacities, sir, but this was my night off, and I forgot my keys.
I heard that part. What time did you leave the house tonight?
Oh, about 6:30. I had dinner at Wiley's Roadhouse.
Can you prove where you spent the rest of the evening?
I can try.
Try hard. And don't leave the house. I'll get to you later.
Very good, sir. I shall be in my room, Miss Van Gorder, if you need me.
Yes, Warner. Surely you don't think he's...
Warren and I have met before. I can't recall where or when, but I will. There'll be a crew here shortly from headquarters, dusting for fingerprints, taking photographs. But in the meantime, Mrs. Patterson, you aren't leaving the house tonight, are you?
No, Lieutenant.
Don't. I'll talk to you in the morning. Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night, Miss Van Gorder.
Dale, I was with Mark Fleming this afternoon when you talked to him about the floor plans of this house. I heard him tell you he was coming here tonight.
Dale called him at my request. She told me he was coming.
Who else heard her tell you that?
Judy, Lizzie.
And that nice Dr. Wells.
Dr. Wells. There are a few killers who kill for the fun of it. The bat very likely is a mental case, and I'm convinced that his crimes are motivated by his mania for personal gain. There's $1 million at large, and he's going to keep on hunting for it until he lays his hands on it. Now, these young ladies are staying here tonight?
Yes, they're my house guests.
Well, when my crew arrives, we'll be busy for a while, so I'd suggest that
That we go to our rooms? That's a very good idea. Come on, girls. What about a police guard for this house tonight, Lieutenant?
You've got one. I'm going to cover this place tonight from the attic to the basement. If the bat makes another call, I'll have a little surprise for him.
Who is he? Have you any idea?
He could be anybody. So far, there are clues to his identity, but nothing we could take before a jury. I am afraid we must look higher than the criminal world. He may be a merchant, lawyer, doctor, scientist, one of the pillars of his community. Ladies, lock your doors tonight. Stay behind them. I promise you you'll be safe. Good night.
Good night, Lieutenant. Good night.
Yeah, so, sorry guys, hope you'll forgive me for still being a little shaken up over the murder of our guest, Brett Davis, live on the show on the last break. You know, you always think that the whole anything could happen thing is like part of the fun of live streaming, but it's really actually quite upsetting in practice. While the movie was on, I did receive a video from one of my co-producers on the show, George Gordon. I don't know, it might have some clues in it or something. I don't know what's in it yet, so I'm going to play that right now.
Oh, hey there. Didn't hear you come in. I'm George Gordon, producer on HOFF'S HorrorFest, a lover of all things horror, and a huge fan of Halloween. I come at you with a heavy heart today because it seems like Halloween is probably going to get canceled because of COVID-19. But, as I said before, as a huge fan of Halloween, I still think you should get dressed up. Don't be Batman this year. Be the Bat. Let me show you how. You'll need these 3 things. A fedora. Sunglasses, preferably Ray-Bans. And finally, a black gator mask. So happy Halloween, guys. And remember, don't stay out too late.
Okay, I guess that was just a segment for the show, although it is a little suspicious that George has a bat costume. Wink at the end was a little weird, right? Am I imagining things? I don't know. Maybe I'm just paranoid now. Another co-producer on the show, Marybess Pritchett, is calling me on Zoom right now. She was going to do like a fashion segment about the movie, so let me bring her up. Maybe she'll know something. Hold on for a second here. Marybess, hello. How are you?
Aloha! I am loving The Bat so far. It is a shame about Brett, though. Although he was never really going to break out of that whole public access bracket anyway, so...
What?
As you will notice, I am in my bedtime regalia, necessary for any sleepy siren such as myself. In The Bat, we see that women have always taken bedtime as an opportunity to dress up before you lay down. Miss Cornelia and Lizzie are well kept and coiffed in their day-to-day goings-on in this movie. However, when the darkness creeps in, those bobby pins come out.
Yes, well, those are some impressive PJs you have there, Marybess.
Well, there is a reason they call it a nightgown. And what most people don't know is that women wear these every single night.
Well, I don't know if literally all women do that necessarily, but...
You said you wouldn't interfere with my segment this week, Hoff. I think as the only female-identifying producer on the show, I know what I'm talking about, okay?
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
As I was saying, women wear these every single night. And it's important to note that hair is a vital component to this routine. After a full day of poking and prodding and making sure that every single strand is tucked away, it's especially luxurious to let those locks breathe. And it's made even more glamorous by donning a decadent sleep dress, like this one from Cintoria's Secret. And one like this can be worn on its own on warmer nights with a little shake and a shimmy, or with a wrap or a night overcoat like this one, when one needs just an extra snuggle. This one is one of my personal favorites, and the leopard print is especially fun.
Marybess, is that blood?
What? Oh, no! No, of course not. I was drinking a little red wine earlier, and oh, silly me, I must have spilled. You know what? That actually about does it for me. So, I will say good night, everyone. Sleep tight.
Good night. That was weird. I don't know. I got some stuff to think about. Let's watch some more of the movie.
Pity. So young. Well, Doctor, do you agree it was the bat?
In my report, I shall say the death was caused by the same technique used in the other killings. A paralyzing blow to the throat, followed by severe lacerations of the jugular, resulting in excessive hemorrhage.
In a layman's language, he didn't know what hit him.
Oh, he knew. But he didn't have time to think about it. Staying here tonight, Andy?
Well, until I check the doors and windows, but I'll be back bright and early in the morning.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds.
A lot of people are due for a shock when I close this case.
Yes, I'm sure they are. Good night, Andy. Don't get hurt.
Good night, Doctor.
You know, I think we'd better let you get some sleep.
Oh, well, Lizzie and I share this room for mutual protection. You know, one night, a storm blew the wires down, put the lights out, and I went out the next day and bought a half a dozen of these things. You better take one with you, Dale.
Oh, thank you.
We'll go across the hall now.
Are you sure there's nothing else you need?
Oh, no. Quite sure. We'll be all right.
Well, if anything bothers you, you just sing out, and 2 strong women will come to your rescue.
Oh, nothing will bother us. Not with Andy on the job.
No. Well, good night.
Good night, Miss Van Gordon. See you in the
Don't
morning.
worry, everything will be all right.
We won't. Good night.
Good night.
I don't think I'll sleep tonight.
Me neither.
All I can see is poor Mark Fleming staring at us. I thought that when people died, their eyes closed, as in sleep.
Don't think about it.
I'll bet you're thinking about it.
No, I was thinking of my poor husband sleeping in jail tonight. Oh, Judy, I love him so much.
What's that noise?
Oh, I don't know. I kind of fell half asleep. For a moment, I thought it was something from a dream.
It's somewhere in the house. Yes, on the floor above. Not directly over us. Probably a room overlooking the driveway.
Should we call Miss Van Gorder?
She'll hear it. How can she help but hear it? Oh, besides, we don't want her to think we're a couple of hysterical women.
Well, I'm about to become one.
Oh,
I had it for one night. Dale, you're not going out in that hall.
I want to know what's happening up there.
But Lieutenant Anderson said if we stayed behind our locked doors, we'd be safe.
Vic isn't safe locked up in that jail.
Oh, but...
Suppose that stolen money is in this house. Mark Fleming seemed to think it was. Maybe that's what somebody's looking for.
Sake, don't you hear that awful noise up there? Now, Lizzie, you've just got to stay awake. The house phone and the outside phone wires have been cut, and we can't get help.
Where's that policeman?
Oh, I don't know. Something must have happened to him. Now, go on, get on your robe.
Oh, Dale, please don't go up there. I've got to. Think what it could mean to Vic. Now, you stay here.
Oh, no. If you go, I go. Go up there alone.
You wait here. I'm going to see what it is.
Oh, please let me go with you,
Judy. Will you warn me if anyone comes? I'll only be a moment. Now, wait.
Give her to me. I'll look after her.
Poor baby.
Judy.
The bat.
Yes, the bat. He caught her at the head of the stairs. We saw him rushing down the stairs as we came out of the room. I hurled that after him. I hit him, I believe. I'm going to cover this place from attic to basement, you said. Well, what were you covering when that poor child was murdered? Where were you?
I saw a man outside in the grounds. I went out there and hunted him. I heard him in among the trees, and so I followed the sound of him as far as the brook down near the back road. And then I lost it. I'd rather give my own life than have this happen to Judy. But I told you to stay in your rooms and lock your doors and stay there. What was she doing at the head of those stairs?
That was my fault. They heard a strange noise. Heavy pounding in one of the rooms on the 3rd floor. We all heard it.
I wanted to see what it was. Judy, wish she wouldn't let me go out by myself. I made her stay on the balcony.
What about your new butler?
Oh, well, he's in his room, I suppose.
Oh, Mrs. Patterson.
Oh, yes.
Did you know what happened here?
No, sir, but I heard the screams. I went to call Warner. We have rooms on the same floor, but he wasn't in his room. His bed hasn't been slept in.
If Mrs. Patterson heard the screams, Warner could certainly hear them.
You're quite right, sir. I heard them.
Oh, you did? And where were you?
Outside in the grounds.
Miss Holland has been murdered. No. Oh, so you're surprised. Shocked. Well, I've seen better performances. I remember you now. Your name's not Warner. I've got a circular in my office with your picture on it. The Chicago police not so long ago were hunting for you in connection with the robbery.
You're right again, sir. And they found me and they tried me and I proved my innocence and I was acquitted.
That could have been a lucky break. Where were you when this child was killed?
I told you before, sir. Outside.
What were you doing there?
I was following you. I saw you leaving the house, and it seemed that you were hunting someone. I thought you might need some help. Oh, yes, sir. I followed your flashlight down through the trees. Then it disappeared. And then suddenly, as I was staring out into the darkness, I was struck by something on the back of the head. The next thing I knew, I was lying on the ground. I realized I'd been knocked out.
I wish you had been knocked out. But then we'd have found you with your mask still on your face. You were hit here in this house with this poker as you were rushing down those stairs after that child was killed.
Oh, no, sir. You can't pin this on me. I'm not the bat. I've never killed. I couldn't kill. I won't take the rap for this.
Doctor. We have another case for the county coroner. You see, the bat came back. Why did you come back, Doctor?
Well, I had an accident about a mile down the road. The right rear wheel of my car came off and I plunged into the ditch. This was the nearest house, so I came here to call for help. I thought I'd find you around, Andy.
Physician, heal thyself. You must have been hit by something on the back of your head.
I told you I had an accident.
So you did, Doctor. So you did. I could be wrong. But maybe I'm not. We shall see.
I saw some people in the chat saying that I should leave Hoff Manor. I can't leave the show, guys. I gotta finish the show, and I gotta find out who killed Brett Davis. You know, I have to know the truth. The next thing I'm gonna do is call up the last co-producer on the show who I haven't spoken with yet, Andrei Alupului. So just give me a second here to bring him up on Zoom. Maybe he can shed some light on what's happening here. There he is. Trey, you are live on the show. Hello.
Good evening, Hoff. How do you do?
I'm not doing too great right now. You seem different.
And you as well. You seem positively ashen. Has it something to do with that murder that occurred on the stream? It was quite a grim bit of business indeed.
Yeah, you know, I gotta say, you and the other co-producers don't seem that broken up about it.
Well, I'm not in a position to have any sort of feeling about it. Can I bring you anything? Do you need anything? I'm here to serve you and your feelings.
Trey, what is going on with you right now?
Whatever do you mean?
I mean, why are you talking like that?
Why, Mr. Hoff, have my fineries not already alerted you? I'm attending online butler school. I live to serve now.
Oh, okay. Well, this is quite a striking transformation. I guess it's kind of like the chauffeur who becomes a butler in the movie.
Yes, quite, sir. I thought you would find that amusing. You see, as our world grows increasingly chaotic, I've come to realize that there's no more upward mobility available to people who aren't already a part of the landed gentry. So, I'm just trying to hitch a ride on the coattails of some rich guy. I mean, I'm not going to die in the water wars, Hoff. They're coming, and I'm not going to do it.
Well, that's very brave of you.
I don't care about bravery, dude. I just don't want to die. That's it. And I don't care who else dies in order for that to happen.
Okay, that's a weird way to put it. Speaking of, what were you up to like half an hour ago when our guest, Brett Davis, was murdered live on the show?
Butler class. I was in my class. You could ask anyone at the Butler School about it, all my co-students.
Okay, well, that's a pretty airtight alibi. Thanks for checking in, and I guess good luck with all the Butler stuff.
Ta, sir.
Yeah, ta, I guess. Okay. Honestly, kind of weird to see him dressed kind of like me. It feels, I don't know. I still feel very unsettled. I don't know what to think about all this. But what I do know... Wait a minute. Butler School. Don't they always say the butler did it? Isn't that like a whole mystery trope? I'm more confused than ever. Every clue that comes in, it just mystifies me more. But I do know one thing, and that's that we still got to show the horror host highlight reel. We don't have that much of the movie left, and we got to get to the highlight reel. Those of you who watch the show know we do this every week. Basically, the movies we screen have been around for a long time. They've been in the public domain for a long time, and so a lot of people have hosted screenings of them before we came along. So, on local TV or the internet or whatever, wherever. So, in order to not pretend that we're doing some sort of unique thing with this show, we like to celebrate the horror host tradition that I'm a part of by showing a highlight reel of other horror hosts besides me hosting the film of the night. So I'm going to show you guys that now. So this is, again, a highlight reel of other horror hosts hosting The Bat.
So, what exactly are we showing tonight anyways?
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot. Hey, tonight we got a good one for you. A Vincent Price classic. Man, you're gonna dig this one. It's a movie called The Bat.
We have a wonderful Vincent Price movie. It's called The Bat.
We are about to watch something very unusual. A film called The Bat without Bela Lugosi.
Taking you back to 1959. This is The Bat.
It is The Bat.
Yes. The Bat. The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat. Oh, The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat. The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat from 1959, starring Vincent Price himself.
This one should be quite good.
No supernatural creatures. It's all masked killer kind of stuff, but with wonderful hats. Wonderful hats in this period.
Death travels on the wings of the night in this veritable Jaraptorama of murder and mysterious mayhem.
This is a stick-up. The Bat strikes again.
Take that. You got him.
Stop! What? Look! Stop!
There's a bat loose in the house.
Don't be afraid, little bat.
His mother's probably looking for him.
That's enough of that! Bat!
White nose syndrome, or WNS, is affecting the bat population all over northeastern portions of the United States and Canada. You can go ahead and visit www.whitenosesyndrome.com for more info.
There you go. There's your horror host highlight reel. We only got one segment of the film left, so if you guys have any clues to share, if you know what's happening, if you think you know the killer in this situation or in the movie, last call to sound off. And please enjoy the final act of The Bat.
All right, Dale, let's start a new chapter. For days, the murders held the headlines. Lieutenant Anderson grilled us and ransacked the house from top to bottom. Warner was not placed under arrest, but his every move was watched. At night, Except for a detective on guard in the house, the police and the reporters left us alone. And on one of those nights, without telling Lizzie or anyone else, I pursued a secret investigation of my own. It was in an empty room on the 3rd floor where we kept our trunks and other things.
Put him up, Pat. It's a bright idea to kill me in my own lab and let people think that I'm the bat. But you had to kill me first. What was it to be, ambush? And clever as you are, you're not smart enough to do that. Nor were you smart enough to find the money, though you came quite close to it. But I know where it is. And when you're dead with that sign pinned on your chest, I'm going to collect it and live happily ever after. He destroyed himself. How true that will be. Well, goodbye, Bat. Here's a serum that will heal you whether you're rabid or not.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Miss Cornelia! Miss Cornelia! Now, where would she be going at this time of night? Land's sake. I never. Oh. Mr. Davenport. Mr. Davenport. Oh, a fine thing. The door unbolted, the chain off, and you asleep on the job. Wait till Lieutenant Anderson hears about this. Come on, wake up. What's the matter with you?
I don't know. My head hurts. My whole body's numb.
Here, take a sip of this. Try to snap out of it. I'll be back in a minute. Hurry, will you? It's Lizzie. I'm terribly worried. I can't find Miss Cornelia anywhere, and something's happened to the policeman. I don't know what. Get Warner. Bring him to the drawing room. Tell him we need him. Are you all right now?
Yeah, I'll be all right in a minute. I remember now. I took a drink of wine from that decanter there. Miss Van Gorder told me to help myself.
She wouldn't put nothing in it?
Well, somebody did. Somebody who knew I was on duty here.
Then it was somebody that got Miss Van Gorder. I can't find her anywhere. Upstairs, downstairs, or in the basement. I told the housekeeper to get Warner.
Lieutenant Anderson will want to know about this. Hello. Yeah, this is Davenport at the Oaks. We've got trouble here. Well, for one thing, I was drugged. Yeah. But I must have been knocked out because the maid tells me Miss Van Gorder's missing. Well, you better call Anderson and let him know. He's not at home. Well, where is he? Out on a case? What case? Dr. Wells. What else did they tell you about it?
Oh, hurry, will you? We've got to find Miss Cornelia.
Okay. Lieutenant Anderson is out on a case. Dr. Wells was found dead in a room next to his garage, murdered.
Dr. Wells?
There's something queer about the killing of Wells, but headquarters won't talk about it.
Lizzie, Warner isn't in his room. There's no sign of him anywhere.
And I was supposed to keep an eye on that guy.
Where's Miss Cornelia? That's what I want to know.
Wait a minute. Didn't you say that the chain and the bolt were off of the front door?
I certainly did.
Well, maybe Miss Van Gorder went outside.
Oh, she never would. We better look.
I can't breathe. There's no air.
Miss Cornelia.
Oh, Miss Van
Miss
Gorder.
Cornelia. Miss Cornelia.
Miss Van Gorder.
Look. There's a light in that room on the 3rd floor. Were you up there tonight?
Well, of course I was, but I turned the lights out before I came downstairs.
Then Miss Cornelia might have turned them on again. That's where we're going to look first. Come on.
Here we are, Miss Van Gorder. What do we do now?
Over the mantel, there are 5 panels. Strike it with your hand.
Which panel did you say, Miss Van Gorder?
Oh,
Miss Van Gordon, which panel? We couldn't hear you.
She said strike it. What difference does it make which panel? Strike them all. Look. Oh, it's all right now. It's all right, dear. Lizzie's here.
Feeling better?
Yes, much better.
We'll take you to your room.
Oh, no, you won't. I'm going to stay right here. I'm quite all right. Oh, how blessed it is to breathe without an effort. You know, no one knows how sweet the air can taste until someone shuts it off for a moment. That room is just like a box. When the mantelpiece closed, it seemed like all the air was drawn out of it. Look, there it goes again!
Let it close. I can open it from in here. There's a control panel behind this blueprint. Electric motor under the trap door here. Once the door is open, you can keep it that way. I believe that the fireplace in this other room opens the same way. And it does.
I tried to find this, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, it was back of this blueprint here. Well, it's quite a setup. Too bad we can't open that safe in the same way. Take an expert to crack this box or a shot of nitro.
Well, maybe that's what the bat had in mind.
Could be. Seems he's on the prowl tonight.
Miss Van Gogh, Warner has disappeared.
And Dr. Wells has been murdered.
Dr. Wells?
Lieutenant Anderson's on that case right now.
Well, does he know what happened here tonight?
They got word to him. He'll be here any minute.
What's that noise? Miss Van Gogh, the garage is on fire.
Scott, look at that.
Lizzie, put that light out in the other room. Now, where are you going?
To report the fire.
Well, you just stay right here.
But Miss Van Gogh, the garage.
Well, let it burn. You watch the stair. Can't you see that fire was set to get us out of the house?
Out of the house? Were you talking about the...
Yes, I'm talking about the bat. Now that the lights are out, he'll think his trick has worked, and we've gone. He'll be here any minute.
Well, so will Lieutenant Anderson.
I hope so, but the bat will be here first. And he'll kill again if we're in his way. We've got to be as clever as he is.
But you'll be safer downstairs. I'll take care of you.
Well, the others can go, but I'm going to stay right here.
All right, but get out of sight.
Let's face it, ladies, and get it over with. Others have seen my face before they died, but I'll have to deny you that pleasure. This would make a good scene for your book, Miss Van Gogh, but I'm afraid you'll never write it.
That is Warner. I could tell.
You misjudged me, Miss Ellen.
Warner!
I don't like being a murder suspect, Miss Van Gorder. I was headed for a plane, but halfway to the airport, I changed my mind and came back. I'm glad that I did.
Why, it's Lieutenant Anderson.
Yes, it was Anderson. He'd discovered the secret of the hidden room and was waiting to get into it and open up the safe. We found the money in it, a little over $1 million in 10s and 20s and 100s. Good old Andy. With all his ill-gotten gains invested in bank stock. It's rather a clever way to hide stolen money. In the open, as it were. And so respectable. But don't try it. No matter how clever you are, you can't hide murder. Well, that's it, Dale. That's the end.
All right, well, everything in the back got wrapped up all nice and tidy, but, you know, here in the real world, I still don't know who killed our special guest, Brett Davis. And whoever did is probably coming after me next. I mean, for all I know, they could be here in Hoff Manor right now. Wait, I'm getting another Zoom invite from the killer? It just says the killer. Hold on for a moment. I'm going to bring this up here. Just a second. Show you guys what I'm looking at here. Ooh, that's not the right. Sorry, hold on. I hope the killer will bear with me for a moment here while I get the correct window on screen. There we go. That's it. Hello? Hello? Who is this? Who's doing this?
Hello, Hoff.
Who is that? Oh my god, it's horror host Vile Lyle? We just showed clips of you in the horror host highlight reel.
Yeah, I know. You've been using lots of my clips in your hellacious horror reels, and ripping my content from YouTube and making a mockery of me and my work. Tonight is the night I make you pay.
What?
I planted a series of explosives along the perimeter of Hoff Manor. As soon as I press this button on the detonator, you and your haunted mansion, you can blow sky high. Any last words?
Lyle, I wasn't trying to make a mockery of you. The horror host highlight reel is supposed to be like a tribute, you know? Like, I think it's great what you and all the other horror hosts are doing. You got a passion for horror movies, and you're following that passion, and it's just, we're doing the same thing on this show. This is just another no-budget horror host show that we throw up on YouTube. I wasn't trying to make you feel bad.
You weren't?
No, your show is one of my favorite ones, the Vile Lyle Horror Shriektacular. It's great. I love it.
But you weren't playing my clips for laughs?
Well, I mean, obviously, what you do and what I do is, you know, silly on some level. I mean, but no, what I'm saying is you're good. You're very cool and good.
Oh, it's kind of nice when you put it that way.
Yeah, right?
I mean, you know, it's kind of flattering.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Oh, all right. You're all right, Hoff. I'm sorry about, you know, threatening to kill you, off you, whatever. You know, you're gonna be doing the show the rest of the month.
Every Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll tune in again. You know, have a little fun night. So, you have a good night.
You too.
And hey.
Yes?
Happy Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween to you too, Lyle. You did murder Brett Davis, though, right? So that still seems like kind of something that we should. Oh, it's gone. Okay, well, I guess that clears that up. So that's good, at least. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show and the film. Many thanks once again to our special guest, Brett Davis, and, R.I.P. and my condolences to all of his loved ones. I've been your host, Hoff Matthews. My co-producers on this show are Andrei Alupului, George Gordon, and Marybess Pritchett. And we will be back next week with Not of This Earth, the Roger Corman 1957 sci-fi movie. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be talking with the filmmaker Sidney Clara Brothman. So hope you guys can all come back for that. And for now, have a good night and stay safe out there.